Hey, how's it going? It's Chris with PearsonCopy.com, and I'm here to help your brand make more sales with email. As part of my 100 emails in 100 days breakdown challenge, I am breaking down an email today from the Atlas Tea Club. This email is a product offer email. It's a new announcement email. So essentially, Kelly at Atlas Tea Club is sending an email to actually introduce the exclusivity and the idea of small batch teas from Malawi. I'm not really sure how to say that, so correct me in the comments. But this tea, basically what Atlas Tea Club does is it goes around and finds exclusive small batch teas and it sends it to you wherever you're at in the world as a part of your membership with the tea club. I think this email does really great on talking through um, the context of where this tea comes from, and it plays on the rare, unique opportunity, which causes exclusivity in the brain of like this is a rare chance, this is exclusive to only people that are in the club, etc. And I think that this email can show you how. Basically, how and what a plain text email can actually do for a physical product. I really like this email because it is plain text. It does use a couple images, but overall, the text is actually using a lot of copywriting principles that I think if you can use in your emails, it's going to help increase opens, clicks, and conversions, aka sales. So this email actually came in from my buddy Max. He sent this over, he forwarded it over. So I thought I'd break this one down for you today. So yeah, with that being said, let's go ahead and dive in. So the subject line here, it's the forward here is from Max, but the subject line is, have you ever tried tea from Malawi or Malawi? Again, I'm not really sure how to say that. So, and with an emoji here, it looks like a teacup. So the subject line here is a question, right? It's to evoke curiosity of like, ooh, tea from this certain region or a certain area, country, etc. I got to click on this because I've never tried that. And I am trying to become a tea connoisseur, and I want to try this tea from this place. So it evokes curiosity, gets the click, right? Once you open the email, there's a few things here that I noticed right away when I opened this email. The first thing was traveling 7,904 miles from Thiolo to your cup. So this right here might be in contrast to the 9,306 miles from family owned farm in the Shire Highlands. So that's something I would check in on. But just idea of context of where this tea is actually coming from. 7,000, almost 8,000 miles from where I'm at is where this tea is coming from. Like that's just crazy. That's really cool. It's really unique, and it just plays into the idea of the exclusive tea club. Of like you're getting tea from all over the world, and we're going to send it to you when we find it. So I thought that was really cool. The images they use in this, I want to talk about these and get them out of the way. But these are beautiful images. This is, I'm assuming, the Shire Highlands or Thiolo, however you say that. And so they're showing a picture of where this tea comes from. And then here's a product image of the tea that they're actually selling in this email. So yeah, I think the images can add to this email, but if you test it without these images, you might actually see that you get better clicks and sales because the images are adding visual context of where this comes from, and the customers that are buying because of this email or from this brand do want to know the context of where this tea comes from. So having images there could help. But I'd imagine they tested this and they know that the images actually work. But yeah, I would test it without if they haven't and just see how it goes. So yeah, let's go ahead and go to the copy. I'm going to read the copy and we're going to break it down basically every couple lines. There's a lot going on in this email. This is not a lot of copy, but compared to what most brands are doing, this copy does a ton in selling this tea and getting people to click this button to go try this tea. There's a lot going on behind the scenes here. And again, shout out to Max for sending this over. It's Max over at the genuinecopywriter.com. He's also a email copywriter, email strategist, so go check him out. But yeah, he sent this over and said, hey, do a breakdown on this. This thing has a ton of copy principles inside its text. It'd be a cool one to do. So let's go ahead and read through this, and I will walk you through the principles that I see and what you can do with those with your brand. So here we go. Tea lover, I'm thrilled to finally share this with you. So first two lines, tea lover, calling out the ideal customer, ideal prospect, right? And then two, I'm thrilled to finally share this with you. This email is coming from Kelly at the Atlas Tea Club. So this is a personal email from Kelly, and it opens like a personal email. She says, hey, tea lover. She calls out her customer, and then two, I'm thrilled to finally share this with you. Like I've been holding this back, and I'm excited to share this with you. I'd imagine that some emails went out before this, to kind of tease the idea of getting this tea from this region or this area. So that's probably tying back to another email or prior email, like a pre-launch email almost. If not, I would highly suggest it, that if you're getting a new tea and bringing it into the fold of a new tea that you found, do a pre-launch email saying, hey, we're going to a new region, finding new teas, etc. Please stay tuned to your inbox because over the next week we're going to be sending emails about this, and we don't want you to miss out. I would definitely do pre-launch emails when it comes to finding new teas. But yeah, so that could relate back to that. But it's creating its thrill, it's creating excitement, it's getting the reader going, oh, cool, something new. It gets them to lean in. It's something new, right? Let's read the next couple lines. Atlas subscribers have a rare opportunity to taste incredible small batch teas from Malawai. I think Malawai sounds right, right? So Atlas subscribers. So there's even more specificity of who Kelly is talking to or speaking to, right? And then they have a rare opportunity, so it's exclusive, right? This is unique and a rare opportunity. It's exclusive. It's only for Atlas subscribers, and because Kelly's delivering it, you're only going to see this from her. And the outcome or the opportunity is to taste incredible small batch teas from Malawai. That right there, for tea aficionados, tea connoisseurs, etc., will get them excited. So that's the announcement. That's the promise of like, hey, if you're this person and you like rare opportunities and you want to taste incredible small batches, this email's for you. She's calling them out directly with this line of copy. Next line here: traveling 9,306 miles from a family-owned farm in the Shire Highlands, these teas showcase the best of Malawian terroir. I don't know how to say that. Anyway, so she's playing up the idea of where this tea comes from, and what the best part about it is. And this just adds to the exclusivity. Like, it just makes it more rare. This opportunity makes it more exciting to actually be involved. This reminds me of the fresh pressed olive oil a sales letter that was run back in the day. It's probably still, I think it's still running, but essentially this exclusive opportunity to get oil fresh pressed, unlike what you buy in the store because it goes bad in 3 to 6 months, whatever that timeline was. But this is essentially what Atlas Tea Club is doing here. Is they're saying, hey, this is exclusive. It's rare. If you're a club member or a subscriber, you get this opportunity, but you have to act now because there's a limited supply. And I know that because down here they do talk about limited supplies. So they add the urgency and the scarcity in later, but those are the other principles that show up. So this big, you got your promise, right? In the context, then you get your promise in your context here of like where this is coming from in the context of why it's so rare. And then here we talk about the problem. So the problem with tea in Malawai, over 90% of the tea grown in Malawai is produced CTC, low quality tea, for black tea bags. So over 90% of the tea there is low quality tea. And what we're offering you is this exclusive opportunity to get high quality tea from Malawai. And it's only happening because I found it or Kelly found it, and she's bringing that in and she's going to give it to the subscribers. So there's some contrast here, right? There's some contrast by using this problem, this mechanism of like the mass-produced tea versus the exclusive rare small batch teas being produced, and the contrast there is what creates that gap of like making this even more rare. It's like if you find this small batch inside of the over 90% of tea grown is mass produced, and I'm giving you the small batch from Malawai that's not mass produced, it makes it even more rare, even more exclusive. So we're just ratcheting up that exclusivity and that unique opportunity to have this great, amazing tea from this region that usually doesn't produce it. So next line here, with so few smallholder tea farmers growing orthodox teas in Malawai, it's a special treat to enjoy Malawai's high-grade loose leaf teas. So explaining why this matters, like why the mass-grown, mass-produced stuff versus the small batch, why it matters. And this here is essentially more exclusivity. It's also talking about the mechanism of the solution of how the small batch is actually made and where it comes from. That's another mechanism, right? And it's just ratcheting up that exclusivity and that rarity of getting this chance to have small batch from Malawai, and how important it is to take action now, which I'll talk about in a little bit. But there's adding and stacking and stacking and stacking that's exclusivity angle. Next slide. We couldn't be more excited to share these exclusive teas with our Atlas community. So this is a CTA to go check out the teas on your own. And if you aren't part of the subscriber club or the Atlas club, to get your tea, this is a delicious batch that won't last forever. So there's your urgency and your scarcity, right? You want to get this now, you can try the club here. So the exclusive teas, you can go buy them. But if you're part of the club, you get them too. So that's something here that maybe I would clear up is okay, I can go get these exclusive teas, but do I have to be part of the club to get them? That's probably an upsell or something on the site. So if you're shopping teas and say, oh, I'll add the cart, you have to become a member to actually buy this. That could be something later. So if they're like, oh, exclusive teas, I want to go check that out. But if they want to be part of the club, and the club CTA is more important, the exclusivity of being a part of something as opposed to buying the tea is their jam. They're going to click on the club CTA. If they want the teas, they're going to click on the tea CTA, and the club is an afterthought. So that here is actually pretty genius because you're catching two different types of people who are going to buy this. But I would definitely, at first I was like, that's kind of weird. Why would I buy the tea if I have to be a part of the club? I would maybe mention that of like, you have to be part of the club to actually get these teas. So yeah, there could be some clarity here to add in. Otherwise, I think that getting people to buy because they want the exclusivity tea, great. But getting them to buy because they want to be part of a club that gets these teas, not just the one from Malawai, but just ongoing, then yeah, those CTAs make sense. Then you have Try Malawai, which is the general CTA for the tea. Looks like we had double print here on the copy and paste, but that's fine. You have the next image, which we talked about already, and then here's the one of the great things about this email is now that you've made your offer, right? You've gone through this process of like the exclusivity, the rarity, urgency, scarcity. It's unique. If you're a subscriber, you get an opportunity to try this small batch tea. You're making your offer, right? You're selling this opportunity, and then the first question is, or one of the first questions, or one of the major objections that potentially come up is wondering what these small batch teas taste like, because kind of like fragrances, foods, etc. You want to know what they taste like. I'm not going to spend money to buy this if I don't know what it tastes like. So that's the like one of the big objections, and they address it in this email. And they say thanks to the creativity and innovation of this small farm, these teas couldn't be tastier. So they link back to the teas from Malawai, from the Zomba greens. Fruity notes of honeysuckle and tropical melon to the malt and sweet pine forest notes of the orange pekoe black tea, you won't want to miss this rare taste of Malawai. So they give the customer an idea, a sense of what these teas are actually going to taste like. The two here that they mentioned, and what you can expect from them, the notes, the flavors, the notes, etc. So they address that objection right up front, and they link out to those teas. Couldn't be tastier, right directly to them. This collection from Malawai. And then they go back and repeat again and even say it. It's worth repeating for tea lovers. Specialty grade tea from Malawai is incredibly difficult to come by. Period. Like, this is exclusive. It's hard to get, and Kelly's got her hands tied up with this farm getting this tea for you. So you want it. It's scarce. There's a lot of scarcity in this, right? Like, you're not going to get this if you don't buy now. This is just something. This just isn't something you can find on the shelf, which means you're not going to find this in the store. You're not going to find this in the grocery store, your local grocery, etc. Excuse me. You're not going to find it on the shelf. You have to buy this. If it runs out, we probably won't have more. Like, that's what it's implying. It's not saying that, but it's implying it's scarcity. It's a limited stock on this. With Atlas, for a very limited time, again, scarcity and urgency, we'll send it to your door. So if you order part of the club, I'm assuming, we'll send this stuff right to your door, and you don't have to go and try and search for it in your local market, or even go to Malawai yourself and get it yourself. Kelly's doing all that for you. If you have any questions about this tea or anything else, feel free to reply to this email, which is great. This little soft CTA there to get people asking questions to engage to see if they want to buy this. Cheers, your tea tour guide, Kelly, which is a very personal sign-off. An email from Kelly, again, plain text. So yeah, overall, this email I think is great. I think the way that they go through selling the opportunity and then also addressing that first objection is magical. I think whoever wrote this did a fantastic job. I commend them for it. The next thing, the last final piece here is the PS. And this PS just kind of reiterates and recaps the offer, but it goes a little more in depth on selling the actual membership or the subscription, which again was one of my questions up here is to get your tea, this delicious batch that won't last forever, you can try the club here. So they don't click here, like, oh, club, that's kind of cool, but they don't click and they're still reading. We address that next thing of like, okay, what does it take to be part of the club? Because this sounds awesome. Like this urgency and scarcity here in this paragraph of like, you need to get this now. They might be saying, okay, I want to be part of the club, but I don't know enough about it, and I'm not really I don't want to click. This is something that's just in the back of their mind. It's an objection, right? And so this is the PS. As a quick reminder, in case you aren't sure, here's what you can expect with each shipment of teas from around the world with Atlas. So they're basically laying out what to expect as a part of buying from Atlas or even being a part of the club. New single origin teas from a new country each month. So each month you get a new single origin tea from a new country. That's fantastic. That means that they're going around the world and finding these for you, and you don't have to do it yourself. You can just wait, and it comes right to your door. That's wonderful. It's a great thing. Matched to your preferences, so you can choose what you prefer: notes, tastes, flavors, etc. Delivered to your door on your schedule. So you choose, and I'm assuming they have like weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, etc., quarterly, whatever that is. They probably have certain scheduling things that you can do with your deliveries, and then plus a picturesque postcard country information card, sleeping tips, and more, or steeping tips and more. So with every type of tea that you get, they give you information, a postcard from the area, the country it came from, the information of that, steeping tips of how to actually prepare and enjoy the tea, and more. So like you're not only just getting tea, you're getting an experience. And that's something here I think they could go even more in. This right here, this line right here could be its own email. Like this right here could be its own thing of like, hey, this is the experience you're going to have when you buy from us. We're not going to talk about tea. We're going to talk about everything that comes with the tea. This could get people to buy in because they want the postcards, they want the country information. Maybe people will use this once they get the tea and they drink it and they have all the information from the country. They might go visit that country now and say, hey, we want to go get our own tea from that area because the inspiration of the Atlas Tea Club. I'm assuming that's probably one of the tenets of the company. It's like, hey, we're going to inspire you to travel these places, and we're going to use tea as the entryway into the country, which is super cool, super unique, right? So yeah, there's that. And then last line here. If you like the idea of trying your standard if then statement, if you like the idea of trying new exclusive teas, connecting to your tea's origin, and learning more about the world of tea, now is a fantastic time to try the club. Can't wait to share what comes next. I would put another CTA here for try the club right here, CTA, because if I want to be part of the club, but I click this doesn't. This seems like I'm just going to buy tea. It doesn't have the club stuff in it. I'm assuming their site has, hey, if you want to buy, you got to be part of the club. Which again goes back to that fresh pressed olive ad or sales letter from back in the day. That's I think it's still running. If not, then I could be wrong. But it's basically being a part of a olive oil club, right? And you get that you get shipped to your house every month or whatever the time frame is. Similar method here. It's a subscription. So yeah, the typical if then statement, and it lists out all the things that you care about, the ideal prospect cares about, and they list it out here and say, hey, here's a CTA. Can't wait to share what comes next. So yeah, overall, this email is fantastic. This video is a little longer, so I hope you stuck around and watched it. The principles in this copy are solid. Like the way they go through each of these things, the pain, the mechanisms, talking about the exclusivity. Like this is definitely an exclusivity, scarcity, urgency angle. Like this is for subscribers only. You have to act now. If you don't, you're going to miss out because we're moving to the next country. Malawi only has a limited supply because of the 90% of the tea grown here is mass produced. It's not small batch. And so, yeah, this email is just fantastic. So, yeah, the big insights are essentially, again, the subject line, asking a question to create curiosity, going through choosing an angle, like exclusivity as an angle, a reason to buy, of like get it now, scarcity and urgency. That's what I'd say there. The scarcity and urgency gets ratcheted up more down here, I think. And then the idea of selling the subscription off the back of this specific tea. So they do that definitely here in the PS. So those are the three big insights. Subject line, creating curiosity with a question. Second, talking about the exclusivity as an angle and making that like as big and important as possible, using contrast of 90% mass produced, less than 10% is actually small batch, and I found the small batch. I'm going to send it to you. It makes it real unique, rare, exclusive. And the final thing is offering the subscription, a little more details on what it's like to buy tea from Atlas Club, the features and benefits of that. And if you're part of the club, you get it every month, and you can set your schedule and things like that. So overall, fantastic email. Take these insights back to your brand, see if you can use them, and let me know how it goes. I'd really enjoy talking to you and see how that went for you. Otherwise, go check out the other videos on my channel. I've got upwards of 90 right now at the recording of this video, 90 or 91. And go check those out, watch those, pull those insights, take them back to your brand to make more sales with email. And with that being said, thanks for watching.